fantastic.
Georgia.
Awesome. Well, we're waiting for everybody to get on here. We got Ray Lopez going to be doing our State of the Region. I got a couple of other really cool things to show you, I think. But while we're waiting for everybody else to join, give me some ahas as to how did you like the training for the last week, and what were a couple of things that you got from it? What are you implementing? What are you guys going to implement? And Liliana, I'm going to come to you next.
So I love the understanding the multi-year trends at a high level for our agents and showing them where their lost opportunity is in their business. It truly gave me a better conversation to have with my ALC and my top agents. So I really, really love that.
Excellent, excellent. So I love the fact that you got that out of there. Very good. So you need to let us know how that's going for you as things progress, okay?
Will do.
What else? Who else got some value from the call? What else are you going to be implementing? Maritza, you told me that you thought it would be important that we go over the multi-year trends report on some of our MCA calls, or have some special training with MCAs to show how to use the agent multi-year trends in a consulting conversation, right?
Correct. We actually did that on Thursday with our ALC first, so it was good practice for me and Lisa to talk about the multi-year trend report and show it to them how it looks like.
Yeah, was that something new that you guys had done?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, did you use the agent one, or did you use your market center one?
We gave them the agent one, but then we do the exercise with the market center numbers.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. Very good. All right, what else? While we're just waiting for everybody else to get on the call.
I like
Guys,
that
there should have been a ton of stuff that you got off of that.
I like that he referred us to the KW Connect courses, which is something that I know has been there, but to be completely transparent, I don't know everything that is available, and to use it as a tool to as a prescription for our agents. So
Yeah, we
that was
talked a
great.
little bit about that on our call with OPs, and I think, you know, we have timeless and timely training. So how you're using, I think that is important to your point, Lara, as how do you use those on your training calendar for timeless and timely training? What would be timeless training? What's timeless training? What's the difference between timeless and timely?
Timeless, it's good in any market. So lead gen follow-up, they have to know that always.
Yeah, so well, timeless training are like Ignite, 36-12-3, business planning clinic. Those are timeless trainings. In other words, those should be taught at any particular time, right?
I'm gonna have to call you back. I'm gonna have to call
Hey,
Capital
okay,
Direct. I can't take a call.
Timely training would be market of the moment specific stuff, like a class that's going to be coming up here in that I'm going to talk to you about, list to last. That's going to be specific to now. So, you know, and then Lara, to your point as well, when we were talking to the OPs, I said, let's focus on a couple of things that are very specific that our agents need right now, like MREA, 36 touch,
Expired, he mentioned.
expired, but to that point, you know, their database management, really understanding the economic model in the MREA. You know, those things I think are really, really important right now. And if you're looking at the KWU, yes, and then you've got to find who's going to be your instructor, how are you going to get the materials, when are you going to put it on your calendar, and make sure that you're really organized with it. So I love the fact that you thought about that. Oh, Lara, that's great. Really great. Well, because of time, I want to make sure that we give enough time to Liliana. She's actually at a course in Albuquerque, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell everybody what you're doing.
So I am in what we call PC Forum, and it's about becoming better consultants and better coaches for our agents. So we've been here since yesterday. Yesterday we trained all day, and now we're on lunch break, and then we'll finish out in a few hours, and then we fly back home. Yeah, so it's all about polishing my skills.
It's actually the tools that I gave everybody an opportunity to participate in. and we sent you the ebook from Michelle Anderson. I
Yes.
gave it to all the PC coaches, all the Market Center Tech trainers, and I even gave everybody an opportunity that if they would sign up for her monthly call, that I would get that I would pay after the first quarter if everybody attended, that I would pay for a portion of that. And here you are going to the training, Liliana, and taking advantage of what we talked about. And yet I didn't get much response from everybody wanting to attend Michelle's classes. And tell me how they are.
Can I say something that is not going to land well? Do I have permission?
Yes.
I think you just have to be in a frequency to be open to this type of training. It's been amazing. There's so many tools that have been given to us that we can just take back now into the Market Center and have more powerful conversations with the agents. I'm not the only team leader here. There's 2 or 3 other TLs here, and then it's a room full of productivity coaches. So amazing conversations have been going on, specifically around dual career agents. So yeah, I'm bringing back a lot of content.
Maybe I'll see if Michelle will come out here and teach something in our region. But you guys here, I sent this opportunity out to everybody, and I'm so proud of you for taking advantage of it, Liliana, at least going to her class. But you all received the ebook, and you all received the opportunity to be on a call with her once a month. So, you know, I would encourage you guys to take advantage. Yeah. Good job. Well, Liliana, the reason that I wanted you to, join us is because let me show the email that you sent out. And by the way, if you guys are doing this, I want to recognize anybody that's doing it. I get one from Mike Montgomery and I get one from Sean, but I believe that's the only 2 other team leaders I get anything from. So if you're doing something similar to this, I think that's great. But the reason I wanted to show Liliana today is because it had some value connection. So it appeared to me that you took some of the information that we got in the last 2 sessions and kind of put it into this email this week. So I was really proud of you for doing that. So let me show you guys. Hold on for a second. Let me share my screen. And then share this. And I'm happy to send it out to everybody. Well, actually, we'll just put it in the folder where it's located. So let me pull this up. And this was Liliana's, this is Liliana. So again, remind everybody what you do on Sundays. This goes out every Sunday, and I'm copied on it. So tell everybody what you do, because it goes out. I get it early in the morning.
Yeah, it goes out. I plan it between Friday and Saturday. I schedule it, so it goes out every Sunday, no later than 8 a.m. And it's basically my message for the week and some tools that I'm telling them to go play with. Gifts, like here's a model, or go listen to this podcast, and then my own accountability with my numbers. I attach my 411, and I thank them for the referrals that they're sending me. And that language is going to be changing this coming Sunday because Georgia gave me some coaching around connecting dots when it came to thanking them for sending me agents. So that verbiage will be different this coming Sunday. So what I did yesterday was I took the conversation that we had with my Forza last week, and we went into multi-year trends and that whole exercise around listing takens versus listings sold. But I wanted to bring first the perspective of the Central Florida market to then bring it to the hyperlocal market center level, kind of how we teach them. You need to know all the market and then the hyperlocal of whatever community they're going to target. So I took the Aura State of the Market report, which is where I pulled the market numbers, and then I compared them to the market, and I gave it to them with love. I asked permission on the email, and that was that.
Yeah. So what, so you went to the Aura, or Orlando Regional Realtors Association, and you found out there was 13,597 active listings. 4,208 listings were taken in May. Now, what would be interesting is find out how many listings you took that month. I would add that. Like how many?
Oh yeah, I love that.
So let's just say that you guys took 100 listings that month. Well, then the point is, well, guys, we took 100, but there were 42. That means you didn't get 4,108 of them. Right?
Yep.
So that's showing them that there's still business out there, right?
Yes.
And
because they're all in the mindset that the market is hard and the market is tough. Well, it's moving. We're just not moving with it.
Exactly. And so And so this is really great conversation. Then you put your office performance, okay?
Mhm.
412 listings taken year to date, okay? And then 177 sold year to date, 43%. Yet some of you are under the impression that your conversion is 80%. Maybe some of you are there, but the majority of you are at a 43% conversion.
Mhm.
Take this with love. So these are really good ALC conversations.
Mhm.
Very good.
Yes.
Now, by the way, all she's doing is really knowing her market. Because, you know, what an agent's job is to be the local expert of their market, right? And as a team leader, you need to be the local expert of your market. Now, Liliana, how would you use this as a tool, or this mindset as a tool if you're talking to a recruit?
So same, I would take the market numbers with a recruit, and then I would ask, you know, bring me your multi-year trends that we all know that they don't have, and get their numbers, and then compare their numbers to what the market is doing and what's their market share. What is the market share that you have out there, and kind of expose the gap to open the conversation around how we can help make them better or
And you
gain
know,
more
I love
market share.
this because, you know, at an average commission of $10,000, you have $2.3 million in GCI. That's your money parked out there as a frozen asset. Think about that. You know, I think that's a powerful conversation with an external agent,
Oh yeah, for sure.
or internal first, and then your external, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is for your internal. Okay. So then action items for your listing agents, or for any agent, is what, Liliana? Why don't you talk about that?
So I gave them homework. They have to review their active listings. And these are conversations that I've been having also with them around the market center. Like Friday, I had he's my number 4 producer. He's like, I've had a listing on the market since November. And I was like, my first question was, how many listings have sold around you that were your competition since then? And he looked at me and said, I don't know. And I said, well, I think you need to know that, right? Because you need to present that to your seller as buyers are skipping us.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and so I think that they need to do some analysis about what's going on, and they have to schedule a consultation if they want a mastermind around pricing or around strategy, or is it condition, you know, what is it? And then go through the 5 reasons that Mike explained to us last week. Because I think they're also sick of hearing us say, so drop the price, right? But when we present the 5 reasons, they are going to self-discover that it is price after all.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking them to do the consultation, because that's what I want to bring to them in the consultation. And then to encourage them to practice having the pricing conversation in an honest way. They have to have, and this is something that we heard today here at the coaching session, where they were telling us, stop saying role play, because role play requires them to fake it. They have to pretend to be someone that they're not. Start calling it real play, right? It's real play that's going on, so that they show up with more authenticity as they are role playing. So having more honest conversations, you know, how are they practicing that real play? And we are providing that space in the market center for the real plays. But, you know, we have to do a better job of inviting them to the things that we feel they need to be in. And this week, as soon as I come back and we onboard this in, like by the end of this week, I'll be calling them, because if they haven't booked their appointment with me by Thursday, they're getting a call. Because if they have listings on the market 30+ days, we need to have a conversation. You have 2.3 million out there, and I want that company dollar too.
Yeah. Well, and whether they're, you know, some of these might be cappers where you get company dollar, so then you're bringing value for their future.
Correct.
You know, and then one of the things you could do, Liliana, is say, look, you come off cap in the next 3 to 6 months. I want to help you cap quicker. So that's what we call the team leader 90-day conversation, right? Like, you're aware of that. I mean, I know you're aware of it, but I mean, so then they become aware of it. But the other thing is, you know, you might want to send them out a little cheat sheet just to ask like the 5 questions, like, how many showings have you had? How many contracts have been written that you've turned down? You know, like maybe 3 or 4 little things to get them to think, because, you know, if they're not getting any showings, or they're getting showings and they're not getting any offers, that's probably telling them that they've got a pricing problem, right?
Correct. And what is the
houses are
conversation?
sold around you, right?
Because they're all telling me I'm updating my seller, but and what is that conversation like? Because that conversation cannot be, oh, so we didn't have any showings this weekend. Okay, So how are you going to solve that? I mean, they have hired you to solve that.
Well,
Right,
it's
so
more
it needs to
about
be a deeper
educating
combo.
your seller, not
Correct.
updating, but educating your
Correct.
seller and saying, look, you know, we didn't have any showings this week, yet there were 3 to 4 properties in a different price range that were selling that were comparable to yours. I mean, you know, so some of our opportunities come there. We're going to be showing you guys something else. It's a class that's going to be really good for you. Now, if you don't know the answers or know some of the questions to ask, this would be great.
Hi, Lois. How are
You
you?
go to your operating.
I am. So I keep taking it. I keep
Somebody-
putting it on and then taking it off.
Okay. You would be going to your OP or another top agent in your market center to say, look, what would be some of the 3 to 5 questions if a property's not selling that we need to be asking our agents? Dallas, you're an experienced agent. What were your ahas with this? Or what were your comments?
Well, no, my comment is another way you can talk to your agents about this is something that I always talk to my clients about as well. There's kind of a rule of thumb about a house not moving. And it's that if you're getting a fair amount of showings, but no offers, you're probably about 5% overpriced. And if you're getting no offers and no showings, you're probably at least 10% overpriced. And that would always be when I was listing homes, that would always be a conversation that I had with the seller up front. So that way, when I came back, and I tell my agents this all the time, and it worked. They're so happy to hear it sometimes because it's just sort of an awe in there that, you know, I've gotten tons of showings, but I haven't gotten an offer. Well, then you're a bridesmaid right now, and you want to be the bride, so you're going to have to lower your price a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I know some of us, just like some of you, don't have the experience. You've been a team leader, but you don't have the experience of being an agent like Dallas. That's okay. Contact somebody in your market center that is experienced and say, you know, what would be some of the things that we could talk to these people about? Don't sit there and not wonder, don't do anything about it. You know, come up with, just like Dallas had some solutions for you. Other people have some solutions, and most of the LPs have been an agent, so they'll have some of the answers to those questions as well. All right, so review your active listings, consult or schedule a consultation with you or with Deb, right? Your productivity coach, right? And then practice. What's this last one?
Practice having honest pricing conversations with your sellers. So it's just encouraging them to practice with each other, to come to the real place in the market center and just have that convo, because that's a muscle. They have to flex that muscle and cannot practice in front of a seller. I mean, yeah.
And then you're building a training calendar, and you're going to be addressing. Now, I'm going to show you guys a class, List to Last, that Gary and Jason are going to be having on their this
July
month. So I'm going to be showing that to you. So you want to make sure you get this on your calendar. We're going to be showing that next. So and then other things that you might be doing, Liliana, and the tools for this week, like you gave them the Gary and Mel Robbins podcast, which was all about are you operating in fear? And she talks about, you know, not listening to everybody else's mindset and just moving on, right?
Everyone needs to listen to that podcast. That podcast, I think it's the best podcast that they've thrown out this year.
Right.
It is amazing. And download the model. I think the model needs to be in every single wall of our market centers because it's basically the Mel's Let Them theory combined with Gary's 10 bold truths in one page. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, if you know, and I'm going to show you how you could be taking advantage of these podcasts that we're doing for you to take all the excuses away. So so I guess right here you put the blog on you put the one page here for them.
So the one pager is attached to the email. That bonus gift is a blog that Anna Kruger has started.
Okay.
And some of her content is very amazing. So I don't need to duplicate that. I just leverage that and put the link in there. And if they want to read it, they can go read it.
Okay, very good. And then we will show so then you put accountability, and then that you need to have 60 appointments. And then
next
it was
month.
with one of these that you were asking for referrals, but I don't know where it came from.
On the gratitude, I say like huge thank you for sending us the referrals. Thank you. And that's what I did this week.
Okay.
I didn't ask for it.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw something else where you had more about referrals, but maybe it was just
usually Yeah, usually every Sunday email has the ask. I felt that maybe this was a limiting block in my head, that I was hitting them over the head with the first part of the email, and I wanted to end the email with higher energy.
Yeah. And so one of the things we talked about was, instead of using the word referrals,
Mhm.
we talked about, I want to build your wealth, and I want to see you have your passive income. So please make sure that you pass along a name of somebody that you would like to be working with here in our market center. So
Mhm.
so it didn't sound like because some people are reading this and they might not be as familiar with
Mhm.
referrals for profit share as they would be with a referral for something else. So it was just a
Correct.
little tag on. So good month. Good job. All right,
Thank
so
you.
we'll send this out to everybody so you get a feeling of what she's doing. So anything else you wanted to add, Liliana?
No, that was it.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for stepping out of your class, and she gave me a good contact for somebody that teaches dual career PC program. So we're going to be getting in touch with that person as well. So good job.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. Have a good week, guys.
Good job. All right. So a couple of other things. This is your email that we're going to be sending out to you in the future, which is going to be why isn't this popping up now? Whoops, I don't know why this is doing this. Where did it go? All right, there it is. So you're going to be getting, now this is labeled June 9th because this is our test, okay? But we're going to be doing the #1 market center in appointments. So whatever market center month to date is the #1 market center is what we're going to be listing. And then we're going to say here, click here to view all of the market center appointments, or click here to view all the market center growth. But we're just going to be recognizing month to date. This is not through June 9th. This is through this month, but we just don't have the new updated date here because we're still in test mode here. So we're just going to be recognizing the top market center. We're going to give you the leadership hub where we keep everything. And then these are the action items. So I wanted to show this to you because here's all the tools that we're giving you for your recruiting and internal connection. You know, the value connection that Mike Forza was talking about. So retaining and growth tools for June. This here is we're going to just, well, I think this takes you to the same thing, but that we have on here. But here's the CHEW. So click here to view the CHEW. Click here to view the MREA podcast graphics. Click here for the registration link for Mega Agent Camp, okay? Here is your market updates from KWRI. Here's a monthly market update. In other words, here, if you click on this YouTube, it has like maybe 45 minutes of Keller Williams giving you a monthly market update. Here is the pivot shift ahead that you can send out to everybody. Here is your empire building podcast. So we're giving you all the things that you can utilize to be able to send internally and externally to a recruit or to one of your agents. So all of these, and then I'm going to show you where we're actually putting some of this in the library for you, but then I'm going to take you back and show you where some of these things are located. So these are your tools for the month of June to make it very easy for you to do what needs to be done. Here's your office lobby loops, because I go into market centers and you don't have your office lobby loop going. You got something on, you know, I don't know, other channels. So here's your playlist for that. Here is a top producer study, what top producers are looking for, okay, that Keller Williams did. So you might want to use this as an opportunity to see, you know, are you tracking what top agents are looking for? So there's a tool there. And then here's your Mega Agent Camp, your toolkit. Click here for a nominee. That's for somebody that you might want to have appear at Mega Agent Camp. And then if you want to register for CEO Summit, we made it really easy for you to do that. We have some other things, announcements on that as well. And then this is what we're doing for you. So we're creating I'm going to say postcard-like post. You can put it in an email, you can put it on Facebook, you can do whatever you want to do with it. And all they need to do is click here to listen to the podcast, or click here, or when I say click here, or scan the QR code to listen to the podcast, or scan the QR code for the one pager. So we made it very easy for you. Now, if you want these, you click here to access them. They're actually on your hub, but we're trying to make it really easy for you. Every week we do this. So here is the combined. Now, what I did was, instead of going back from number 1 to number 80 and combine everything, I went back to the first like 60 or so, 70, and we just did some of the top podcasts and combined them. But from like 79 on, I guess, we combined all of them. So here's the latest one that was Mel Robbins. So it's done for you. And so it's done. All you've got to do is send it out through Facebook, wherever you want to do it. Then if you just want the podcasts are here done separately with the one pager is there as well, but these are not in the format of a postcard, I call it. These are just done separately. So if you want it, just like Liliana did, if you want to send them out separately, that's the way you can do that. Or if you want to just the one pagers only, here's the list of the one pagers, and they're just coming up. So here's the one with that she was talking about with Mel Robbins, that she said, I would post this in your market center. Okay. And so here is everything that was on the podcast. So everything is done for you. You don't have to research it. You don't have to go and find it. We took all the excuses away. And so we made it very easy for you guys to be able to find all these things. What do you guys think? Does this make sense? Do you guys like this? Is it very easy for you to utilize? Any suggestions on how we can make this better, easier, anything? Dallas, you're going like, yes. Is this good? Good. All right. So
Hey,
you're
Georgia,
going to
I just want to remind everybody, those top market centers, that is based on command numbers.
Yeah, these.
Yep, correct. Yeah, so it's
Right.
based on what you put into command.
Now we still, yes, because we're tracking command. You still need to be doing your Slack because we're not ready to move off of Slack yet. So you should be doing both. And right now, not everybody is doing both. We're not getting a lot of stuff out of command because I see a lot more numbers in command than I see in, or I see a lot more numbers in Slack than I'm seeing on command. So until we see that we're getting matchy, we're going to keep doing both. So we wanted to show that to you. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was, that was Liliana. Okay. This is an email that's going to be going out. We also have this in our PowerPoint to show you. List to last. This is a course new course, but written by Gary Keller along with Jason Abrams. June 16th and July 23rd. So get this on your calendar from 2 to 5 p.m. They're both the same class, 2 different dates. They will be recorded and they will be posted on Connect, and you will have all the training materials behind it. But I would encourage you to put this on your training calendar. We're going to be sending you this email, and we're also going to be sending you something that you can send out to your agents, but maybe have a, get everybody, what do we call it, Ashley, where everybody comes together?
Watch party.
A watch party where everybody can come together. Have your agents listen to it separately, but, I would encourage you to send it out to recruits and maybe have the recruit come to a watch party. They won't be able to listen to it separately because, it's going to be on Connect, so they won't have access to that. But you'll have all the tools from it afterwards. So again, this is kind of like what Liliana talked about. Guys, this is how we build and bring the value. So let's connect these value points to our agents, okay? And this is like, you got to talk through. You got to send an email. You got to send a text. You got to have one-on-one conversations. So it's not just one thing. Okay, I think I showed everything I wanted to show there. And then we got let me see if there was anything here I wanted to show. I think we already did that. We already did that. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Ray. Ray, are you ready?
I am.
All right. Let's go, Ray. Let me get this in the right mode and show a couple of things first, and then we'll get going. All right, a couple of reminders. Now that we have 2 new staff members, Delia and Daniela, they are sending you emails from Delia at KW North Florida. And Daniela is sending you from her email. You've got to acknowledge those emails and respond back to them, just like you would to me or Ashley. These are their phone numbers for texting. Ashley's going to put them in the chat as well. Put these in your phone number because Delia is sending you text messages about different things, and because she's doing the follow-up for me and Ashley now, so she's kind of like our assistant, but you're not responding to her. So then I either have to text or Ashley texts. And when Ashley texts, she gets a response back immediately. Delia does it and you're not responding. And then that means we're having to go back and do the work that Delia is supposed to be doing. So that's not what we want. So put these phone numbers in your phone for Delia and for Daniela. So when you see them text you, you know that you need to respond to them. So Ashley's going to put both of those in the chat, right, Ashley?
They're there.
Okay. So there's the phone numbers if you want to take a snapshot of it and do it later, or go to the chat and use those phone numbers. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to get with Ray. So Ray, are you ready to go?
I am.
Our real estate market for May 2025. Here we go, Ray.
Okay, so guys, this is what everybody's talking about, right? And now over the weekend, we had a different twist to everything. So we're trying to figure out what the new world is going to look like with us bombing Iran. And that'll all shake out in the next few weeks, right? Depending on which way this goes. But what we can do is we can just look back at the past and figure out, you know, because agents ask me all the time, Ray, when is the market going to get back to normal? Okay, well, this is normal right now. Like Georgia always says, you know, we had 23,572 sides last month closed. So that means, you know, we had a crack at, call it 47,000 transactions in Florida. You know, how many of those did you get, right? So real estate, it hasn't stopped. It is just different than it used to be. Okay, this is the new normal. So let's talk a little bit about it so we can consult our agents. The year-over-year numbers for the state of Florida were down 4.5%. Paid in
Now,
cash.
Ray, these are April numbers, right? Not May.
They are, but May's numbers won't come out to the end of June.
I know. I
Yeah.
told them it was for May, so I just wanted them to know these were April's.
Yep.
Yeah.
The local board here, what's nice is they update it the 15th of every month. So I always do my market watches after the 15th. And I actually have some slides at the bottom of what I do locally to teach our agents about how to talk to sellers and buyers. And we'll end with that. But for the state, you know, you can see cash is down quite a bit year over year. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with investors during this talk. Average price down a little bit. Okay. What I want to talk about is median time to contract. So how long does it take to go to contract? We went from 35 days last year to 43 days. That's up about 23%. So when agents are like, wow, the house is sitting, right? Yes, the house is sitting. Like Liliana talked about, look in your area, figure out exactly what sold around your area. You know, was it superior or inferior to your client's house? Was it priced better? You know, did it have upgrades? Did it have a pool? You know, clients are always saying things like, my house was nicer than that house. Why did it sell? Well, it had a pool. It had a 3-car garage. It had conservation instead of street view in the back. So be able to help your agents be able to have those conversations with their clients, either on the front end or after they have it listed.
And Ray, this is why we're a skills-based market. That takes skill to be able to know the differences and maybe some time in the market, where before, when properties were just flying off the, you know, flying away, the agents didn't need to know as much of some of this stuff, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny, Georgia, I was getting my car service this weekend and I was looking at a really, really nice car, and the sales manager came over and we were talking, and he passed me off to a sales guy, and the sales guy wasn't that good. So about 10 minutes later, I walked back to my area getting service, and the sales manager came over and says, hey, what do you think? And I said, I really like the car. The problem is your sales guy's not that good. And he says, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, you know, he should have done X, Y, and Z if he would have wanted to make me a client forever. And he says, well, yeah, he started in 2020 and he was pretty much an order taker back then. And we're trying to get him up to speed. And I'm thinking to myself, that was 5 years ago. Why is he still here? And that's not my job to say fire the guy. That's his job. If he's not producing.
And what if he were to have stayed there with the guy and had watched him do it to see where his
100%.
weaknesses were? That's kind of like what we do as OPs and stuff. Like we work with our team leaders to help them be better, or our people in our market center, right?
Yep,
And what we do
100%.
with what we do with our agents as well.
Yeah,
to help them
absolutely.
be better. Yeah.
And this is where it really hurts all of us. Inventory is going through the roof right now. Last year, we had about 88,000 homes on the market, and now we're up to 117,000, okay? So now we're getting to a point where houses are sitting longer, there's more of them. What makes your client's house sellable? And do we want to take the listing, right? Do we want to take the listing? It's okay to say no. I remember a few years ago, we had Bob Lucido come down, and he had just started Lucido Luxury back then. And he says, my big takeaway from getting into the luxury market is sometimes it's, me getting it the third and fourth round when the people have already had their price, their second price, they reduced it some, and now they're ready to sell it. So, it's okay to say no to somebody in a nice way and pick it up 6 months from now when their price doesn't work, right? So, and that reflects in our months of inventory. Last year, we were at 4.1 months of inventory, and now we're up to 5.6. So we just have to know that inventory is getting bigger, sales are slowing down, year over year. There's still a bunch of them, but we have to understand what that means for the market. And go to the next slide, if you would, please. This is what that means for the market.
Here we go.
Here, this next one should be go.
There we go.
Buyer and seller gap widen in the housing market. Sellers outnumber buyers by 5,000 nationwide. So that means there's 5,000 more sellers in the market than there are buyers to buy those same listings. So that's the widest gap in over a decade. So since 2015, right? So why is that? Well, buyers remain cautious because mortgage rates are higher. We've got tariffs. We've got a lot of things that make people uncertain. Now we have a pending war, right? So we really, really have to get the motivated folks into houses, and the ones that are tire kickers, let them keep kicking tires. I want my people, if they put them in a car, they're ready to buy, right? Let's focus on the motivated. The number of homes for sale is on the rise, but buyers have not re-entered the market as expected. We were hoping that this year would be the year. It just hasn't been the year yet, right? Right now, we're getting a lot of buyers are getting deals in today's market. This is what I love. For many, many years, Georgia, since the collapse, sellers had all the power, right? And especially after COVID, we had multiple offers as soon as we put things on the market. Now buyers are able to get closing costs, repairs done. Buyers are getting some power back, and it makes them feel good about their purchase. I read a stat that after the COVID pandemic thing, that more than half of the buyers that were in multiple offer situations had buyer's remorse. They felt like they paid too much for the house. They couldn't sell it within a year or two because they had paid too much for the house. The reality is, I feel now that the buyers that I help, when they get a house, they're getting the right house, and they're typically getting it under their own terms. And you feel good about a purchase like that, which is great.
There was almost a FOMO going on back then, wasn't there?
Correct. Absolutely. Still, many buyers are priced out of the market because mortgage interest rates remain stubbornly high. Buyers continue to see economic uncertainty, which has many of them putting off larger purchases like a house. The chief, Redfin's head of economics, expect this mismatch to lead to lower house prices across the nation in 2025. Well, what we do know is we know that in a normal market, which is 95% of the people that are on this, not retirement, not second home, we understand that pricing gets higher and we get our appreciation in the spring and summer. And by the end of the year, we're going to take a drop. It's like the bell curve, right? That's just the way it works literally every year except for COVID. Well, that being the case, they're just expecting it to be a little bit more of a drop this year. And the reason being is people are rate fatigued. We have a pending war. We don't know where the tariffs are headed. Will they work? I mean, we just don't know. And uncertainty leads to buyers figuring out if they want to be in the market or not, right? Realtor.com found that active listings are still 14% below average pre-pandemic levels. So what this basically is stating that we still don't have as many listings as we used to have. It seems higher because we got so low after the pandemic that we just didn't have anything on the market. Everything was getting sold because so many people were moving here. So when somebody says, Ray, when are we going to get back to a normal market? This is normal. This is what it was like in 2016, 17, and 18 for the state of Florida. For Orlando, it was more like 2012, 13, and 14. We'll see that later. Next, please.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Miami right now.
No, that's for sure. All right, so let's talk a little bit about those price reductions for sellers, right? Nationally, 18% of listings saw price reductions in April, the highest share of month of April in recording data since 2016. Arizona and our own Florida led the nation in price reductions. Okay, so when you look at this is a heat map, and it's kind of showing you exactly where price reductions are happening. Of course, the deep purple is the highest, and that's Arizona and Florida. And you see that when they talk about the Sun Belt or the Gulf states, that's a lot of it. And of course, the West Coast as well with their prices. So again, I like to talk to sellers about realism. We talk about overinflated market. We talk about, what you used to be able to get for your house might not be what you get today. What price reductions look like. You don't want to chase the market down, Georgia. If you list a house at 500 that should be at 480, by the time you start dropping it down, the market keeps going down. You might end up selling it for 450 instead of pricing it for 480 initially.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Ray, I want to say something to everybody on this call today. This map is perfect to be able to take out on a listing presentation. Yes.
Right. No? That's right. Absolutely.
And so this is why we do these for you guys, is because you can take this PowerPoint and you can use all of it, some of it, 2 or 3 points of it, and take it with your ALC and take it to your leadership meetings and do this in your market center, because this is perfect here.
Absolutely.
Or use it in a recruiting appointment.
Absolutely.
What are they experiencing?
So what are builders doing, right? So the builders are always they have their own economists looking at, should we buy the land? We're going to be building in a couple of years. Well, right now, builder sentiment in the housing market has declined, with the National Association of Home Builders reporting a confidence index of 32. That is super low, guys, in June, a 2-point drop from May, and one of the lowest since 2012. Well, what was going on in 2012? The Great Recession was coming out of recession. So again, builders aren't too high on the market right now. Factors contributing to the downturn include high mortgage rates, of course, economic uncertainties like we talked about, leading to 37% of builders cutting prices, marketing the highest percentage since they started tracking this in 2022. The average price reduction remains at about 5% of the list price, and they're always using incentives. And what we're seeing now, Georgia, is they're buying rates down. So, it's not uncommon for builders to give you a 4.99% rate to be able to move, especially move-in ready houses. So things that are going to be ready to go within the next 60 days, you can really, really work the builder and get all kinds of great deals, whether it's closing costs covered, a greater commission for you, and or an interest rate bump, which is great. So
yeah, they could be buying those down for 10 points or something, which is more significance in the price reduction, right?
Absolutely. Well, in the Lake Nona
on their side, the cost of their sale.
Yeah, in the Lake Nona Market Center, I'm constantly helping agents price their houses. In Lake Nona, we have so much building going on. So all the resales are going head to head with new construction. And most people, if they have time, would rather go new construction unless the house has charm and character, right?
Yeah.
So you really have to take that, and you need to find out what the builder's doing to, and that's your competition a lot of times,
Yeah.
right? As inventory rises and builder interest wanes, the National Home Builder Association forecasts a decline in single-family home starts for at least the end of 2025. All key comparisons to the housing market index showed losses in June, reflecting reduced sales expectations and perspective of buyer traffic. So this is exactly what happened to Zillow. Last month, we talked about Zillow reforecasting every month this year. Again, the outlook, because we have more inventory and less sales, they have to understand that until interest rates turn around, this is the market we live in, guys. This is the reality. Whether it's good or bad, this is the market we live in. And to make a living, like Georgia says, you have to be able to have the conversations that people need to have on the front end. And if not, you're going to have bad conversations later. And this helps you have those conversations. All right, next. All right, so let's talk about those buyers. Right now, you have a buyer that's well qualified and motivated, you can cash that check. We used to say that about sellers. Now, not as much. So mortgage applications, when we went to leadership camp, the one gentleman was talking about mortgage applications, and this is why he was so high on 2025 finishing strong. I agree with him because a mortgage application is a leading indicator of business. And right now, year over year, we're up 20% year over year in mortgage applications. I know that there's a lot of people, a lot of agents and clients waiting for the Hometown Heroes program to start in July. And if you're not having conversations in your market center about that with your lender partner, you really need to be pushing that. Because as long as a contract is set to close in July, as soon as all this money gets slated to be released, then that home can use the Hometown Heroes money if all the qualifications are met. So just know that. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but yeah, no, it's actually been delayed. So we're still waiting. So hopefully everything goes the way we need it to go. But overall, with the applications going up, that just means that there are people motivated to buy if they feel confident in the deal they're getting, right? So it's our buyer agents. We need them to understand how to find the motivations for the folks and what it takes for them to buy in today's market. And a lot of what we're showing helps them buy because they feel as they're going to get a good deal, which is great. So Georgia, you were a loan officer for many years.
Yeah.
It was all about mortgage applications, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And, you know, sometimes they just wanted to get pre-approved because they wanted to sit on it until they were able to find that house, but they were ready to go whenever they found that particular house. So sometimes it might be 3 to 6 months before somebody, and of course I always told them, don't do anything, like don't lose your job, don't go buy a car, don't do anything, you know, that's going to impact your credit score or anything. And,
Absolutely.
but you know, again, it was like, you know, just, yeah, that was kind of like my pipeline.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right. That is your
mortgage
pipeline.
applications is a mortgage loan officer's pipeline.
Yeah, and then you call the agent, kick them in the butt and say, what's going on with so-and-so?
Exactly, 100%.
All right. So let's
you
talk
know,
about,
it's really interesting as a mortgage. That's why this was such a perfect role team leader, even though I had listed and sold property, but I knew more about the market from a lending perspective and housing prices and what the market was doing. As many, if not more realtors. So sometimes I was advising my realtor friends as to what was going on and stuff. And that's what made me so valuable to my realtors.
absolutely. And
They
it's
weren't
nice to
doing
have,
what they should have done.
yeah, it's nice to have a lender with that kind of knowledge. Absolutely.
That's why I keep saying, use a lender that has a lot of experience in past, in the past housing market, because they can be more valuable to you.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about what investors are doing, right? Because they were a big part of getting us out of the recession and a lot of getting out of the high inventories we had in the 2008, 9, 10, and 11. This last year in 2024, small investors actually accounted for almost 60% of the purchases. That is a role reversal to the last few years. The big institutional investors were were buying a lot. So now we have the mom and pops buying more so than the large investors. Large investor activity fell to 21.7% of investor purchases. This is the lowest number since 2007. So what do they know? It sounds like they're scared of the market too, right? At least the uncertainty. All right. The share of investors who paid in all cash fell for both of these. So going back to the Florida numbers, we were down about 800 transactions month over month, year over year. And that a lot of these probably were investors just trying to figure out, are they going to leverage their money? Are they not going to make the purchase? So again, investors help indicate what's going on in the market. Investor cash purchases were the lowest since 2008. Again, that same period. These trends suggest that higher priced housing, the housing market is drawing in owner occupants that are more financially prepared and paying in cash. So when we look at those cash transactions from the Florida numbers, there are less investor transactions and more people, let's just say, that sold a house in New York and came down here and paid cash. There is a lot of that happened, especially in the areas in Florida, different areas in Florida. The growing share of small investors are relying on mortgages. So until these mortgage rates go down, a lot of these folks are not going to be back in the market. So again, mortgage rates going down will cure a lot of what this market is giving us today. Investors are selling in today's market. So there are actually a lot of houses that if you look at a certain price point in any market, there are investors selling their houses in today's market because they're uncertain if there's going to be the kind of appreciation that they got in the last 10 years. And they might think that they can get a better return in different things. So a lot of our inflated inventory is investors letting go of their inventory. So were you going to say something, Georgia?
Yeah, this reminds me of, this is the perfect time that we need to remind our agents that they're not thinking about getting in touch with their database, but this is the perfect time to get in touch with their database to prepare them for the market of the future. It's kind of like you were just talking about, a loan officer's pipeline is mortgage applications, right? So
Yep.
the thing is that an agent's pipeline is talking to their client, to their database, and finding out where do they want to be in the future. So in 3 to 6 to 12 months, they know who wants to buy, when the rates come down, when things are happening. So you can start to prepare those people, but you're building your pipeline of people that want to do something in the next 12 months, even though they're not doing anything right now. And that's the
Correct.
reason that we need to be calling and building those relationships.
Absolutely.
But
100%.
agents don't see that because they're going like, oh, the market's down, nobody wants to do anything, I won't call anybody.
Yeah.
Our job is to share with them why and how important that is.
Yeah. 100%. All right. So let's talk about the international market. That's a big Florida thing, right? Top international markets, Q1 of 25. Miami was number 1. Orlando was number 4. Tampa was number 7. Okay. So we still have a lot of internationals buying. And that's just something that we need to be aware of, because especially in the 3 housing markets that I just talked about, that's a big percentage of our market. So we just want to make sure that we always account for what's going on in the international market. Again, we'll see what happens with everything with the uncertainty, but that's just the way this is shaken out so far in Q1. All right. And then the last slide, insurance. People are talking about, so what's going on with insurance? We do have new companies coming into Florida, which should help with insurance prices and maybe leveling off and maybe going down a little bit. But since 2019, Miami had the highest increase of income versus insurance premium growth, 28 to 57. Jacksonville, 24 to 51. Orlando, 25 to 49. Tampa, 26 to 46. And I think that's it for Florida. But you can see that income just hasn't kept up with insurance premium growth. And of course, we all know that because we have hurricanes, we have a lot of natural disasters that hit our state. And of course, insurance companies are trying to make money, and we get that. And hopefully we can have another year or a year of a hurricane-less year, which will help us with better rates, right? That's the hope. That's the hope. And Georgia, for the last part of this, I showed, this is what I actually teach in Orlando. So I create, this is what on the left side is a year over year change. I don't really care about the month over month change because it's not really a trend. But like inventory, last year we had 9,400 homes. This year we have 13,304. Okay. When I go down to closed sales, last year we had 2,759. This year we had 2,459. We lost 300 sales year over year in April. Okay. We talk about why that is. Now, the good thing is our median price didn't go down. So even though we have more inventory and we have less sales, Economics 101 should say that we should have lower prices. People still want to buy what we have. So we haven't had a reduction in price year over year, at least here in Orlando. Days on market, 54, went to 70. And month supply, we went from 3.4 to 5.41. Okay. These are the real deal numbers. When I go on a listing appointment, Georgia, this is what I bring. Okay. I want them to see what's going on in the market. I always start off by saying, before I go into my presentation, can I understand what you know about today's real estate market in Orlando? And they will tell me what they know. Some of them know a lot. Most of them do not, right? Or they know what somebody told them. These are the real numbers from our board. These are just my interpretations of what's going on here. We go into a micro market once I get into my listing presentation for their neighborhood, but these are our board numbers, good or bad. So this is and it really opens eyes based on inventories up 42%. Wow, really 42%? Yeah, there's a lot on the market. We have to be competitive. We have to get the repairs done. We have to price it right. There is a lot of houses out there you're competing with. This is an eye opener for people. Go down to the next one. This is just a different style of what this is. This is a grid style for people to see. This is an 18-month year over year. The yellow is last year in April. The bottom one is this year's April, just in a different format. And then next, this is where I show the up and down of the market. I think I showed this last time in the state numbers. We see that in April and May, we typically have more sales, right? Do you really want to be in that October, November, and December timeframe? No. Let's get your house price now, because that's when we give back our appreciation at the end of the year in our market, in Orlando's market. And then my last slide there, Georgia, is this is where we're at. This is our market as of, here we go, in May. Our lowest sales since 2012. Back then, the median price for everything in 2012 was 105 in Orlando, 105,000. Okay. Median high, this is the highest median price we've ever had. We all know that. Days on the market for May, the highest since 2015. Back then, the median price was 175,000 and we had 3,100 sales. Okay, this was just a snapshot of back then.
Yeah.
Highest inventory since February of 2011. Back then we had 13,000. Median price was 133,000. That month we sold 2,100 homes. And then the highest month supply since 2011. Back then it was 6.21 months. I want people to understand, especially sellers, that we're looking at distressed market numbers. I don't think we're in a distressed market, but we need to price your house because things aren't moving the way you remember your neighbor's house moving 3 years ago. Okay. These are the kind of things that our agents need to know about their market and their city. This is being the economist of choice, the local economist of choice, knowing your numbers.
And so if you're a leader in the market center, then get with your operating principal, get with some of your top agents that can teach you this if you're not comfortable. But these are the things we have to be talking about to kind of bring reality into the conversation. You know, if you listen to the Mel Robbins, they talk about don't listen to all this stuff out there, right? But become educated. Basically what she's saying, become educated so you know what the real conversation needs to be and don't listen to all the stuff out there, right?
All the noise. Yep.
Yeah. And Gary was talking about, some people don't want to say, I'm not going to listen to the noise, but then they're operating out of fear. The reason we need to take the fear out of all of this is basically to show people reality, because I remember back in 2011, 2012, we still sold a lot of houses and there were a lot of people that made a lot of money,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
So people I think are living in the last 5 years of the market instead of the reality of the market, of today's market, basically.
Yep. Absolutely.
Good job, Ray.
No
All right,
problem.
so again, is this it? Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
no, you got 5 NAR tax priorities.
Yeah. So I was going over some stuff with one of the market centers. They wanted me to go into different things. That big, beautiful bill. I was just breaking it down to a market center because a couple of people had asked me when that came up at the beginning of last month, what that looked like. And I was just breaking it down for them. This has nothing to do with our thing.
Okay. All right, very good. So this will be in the PowerPoint as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whether you want it or not.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ray. We always appreciate you.
No problem.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna remember this is our state of the region, so this call always takes a little bit longer. But I'm just gonna show you really quick here, and then we're gonna go through our top market center numbers. So where we are here, this was through June 23rd. We're at 483 appointments. We should be pretty close to 1,500 appointments by the end of the year. Excuse me, at the end of each month, we should be tracking about 1,500 appointments. So we're kind of a third of the way where we need to be. And I don't know if we're just not getting everybody's reporting, because everybody in blue here has not reported as of 10 o'clock on June 23rd, which I believe is today. So we're going to be reaching out to all of you, making sure you get your numbers in here so we can be accurate. Right now we're at 109 gross and with 1 net, and our goal is 353 gross. So I'm going to be reaching out to make sure we get our updated numbers, but please, please, please keep updating your Slack. And then just another reminder, June 30th is a deadline to review and update your market center goals in Command. Now, I know we're going to be doing our revisions for with our pond report and our budget information in the month of July. So every quarter you can update your goals, but you've been able to go through your pond report, and so there may be some numbers that you want to update as far as your gross and net for the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And then you're going to be updating your goals in the month of July. Your budget numbers in the month of July. And then just some reminders for upcoming events. You've got Mega Camp. Now, Mega Agent Camp has some complimentary tickets. And Ashley, are we sending out the information on that, or are they contacting us? I think we said they could just ask for the complimentary tickets, right?
That's correct.
For recruits?
Yep.
So have we sent out the information on that?
We have, now that we have the link and everything from KW, it's ready to go.
Okay, so we're going to be sending you out the link. These are for interviews if you have an agent that wants to be interviewed, but we're going to be sending you out the link for you to be able to work on one of those comp tickets for a recruit that's 10 million or more. This would be perfect, guys. This would be perfect for some indies. List to last, we already talked to you about that. I'll tell you about Keller Inc. later. I just wanted to ask you to put a reminder in there that that's a very important website to go to. But let's talk about so Ashley, put that in for the next call, okay? So our top market centers for 2025, and this is our closed units. This is where you go off mute so you can hoot and holler and give excitement to everybody. So in the number 10 spot with 110 units, and that's pretty good. 110 units, that is Lake Nona. And in the number 9 spot with 116 units, St. Petersburg.
Woo!
In the 8th spot with 117 units is Gainesville.
Woo!
In the 7th spot with 125 units, Winter Haven. Good job. Look at that. In the number 6 spot with 135 units, Jacksonville Beach. Ooh, we got some new people to lead. In the number 5 spot with 144 units, Brandon.
Woo!
In the number 4 spot with 152 units, who's telling me that there's no business to be had? 152 units. Venice, good job, Venice. All right, here we go, top 3. In the 3rd spot with 158 units, Lakeland. Chris loves to see that one. And Damien, Lakeland with Nicole. All right, in the 2nd spot with 161 units, Tallahassee. Look at what happens when you bring on a business center that was an indie. Look what happens. Your numbers start to increase. All right. In the number 1 spot with 169 units, Orlando Central. Good job,
Nice.
Central. Woo-hoo. Good job, everybody.
Great job, Lisa and Maritza.
Good job there. All right, now in the closed volume, in the number 10 spot, 47 million, Brandon. In the number 9 spot, 47.9, Jack Southside, the best side. In the number 8 spot with 51 million, Claremont. In the number 7 spot, 54 million, Venice. In the number 6 spot with 58.9, Lakeland. In the number 5 spot with 61.2, Winter Park. Ooh, good job. In the number 4 spot with 62 million, Tampa Central. In the number 3 spot, 74 million, St. Petersburg. In the number 2 spot with 88 million, Orlando Central. Ooh, check that out. Okay. And in the number 1 spot with 102 million, Jacksonville Beach. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. All right. In the number 1 spot with, 10 spot with listings taken, 87, Orlando Central. It's kind of interesting when you look at all the closed where everybody kind of lands, even though they were the number 1 in certain areas. It's kind of interesting where everybody's numbers fall out. Number 9 spot with listings, St. Augustine. In the number 8 spot with 91 listings, Claremont. In the number 7 spot with 92, Orlando Lake Nona. In the number 6 spot with 98, everybody's so close, St. Petersburg. In the 7th spot with 100, oops, I think that's supposed to be, no, that's 5, that's my fault. 5 spot with 105, Brandon. And the number 4 spot with 109 listings taken, Lakeland. Oh, let's see who's number 3. All right, number 3 with 111, Oviedo. Look at Oviedo go. All right, in the number 2 spot with 115 listings, Jacksonville Beach. Who's going to be number 1? Oh my gosh, 166 listings taken. Venice. Good job, Venice. Did I see them back here? Huh? Were they back here? No, they weren't. All right, that must have been on my other one. So good job, Venice. Great job, everybody. 166 listings taken. Oh, wait. Now it said and Tallahassee. We have a tie. I just didn't click it enough. Venice and Tallahassee, a tie. Good job. Glad I did that. Woo! All right. Owner profit with 18,000, number 10 spot, St. Petersburg. In the number 9 spot with 19,000, Oviedo. In the number 8 spot with 20,000, Orlando Lake Nona. In the number 7 spot with 23,000, Tallahassee. In the number 6 spot with 24,000, St. Augustine. In the number 5 spot, 34,000, 10,000 more, Gainesville. 34,000 owner's profit, guys. That's nothing to sniff about. That's nothing to, gosh, that's great. In the number 4 spot, 37,000, Orlando Central. In the number 3 spot, with 41,000, Winter Park. In the number 2 spot, oh my gosh, by like $400, 400 and some odd dollars, Jacksonville Southside, the best side. And in the number 1 spot with $60,352, Jacksonville Beach. Good job, everybody. All right, let's move on to gross. In the number 10 spot with 3 gross, Sarasota Lakewood Ranch, Rebecca Adams. In the number 9 spot, looks like we got a few, Inglewood, Waterford, Oviedo, Spring Hill, and St. Augustine. Good job with gross 4. In the number 8 spot, where are we? Oh, it's coming up. Well, I don't know why that was there. In number 8 spot with 5 gross, Bradenton Manatee, Brandon, Daytona Beach, Gainesville, Orlando Southwest, Venice, and Winter Haven. Good job, everybody. Thank you, Ashley. In the number 7 spot with 6 gross, Claremont, Orlando North, Orlando South, and Tallahassee. In the number 6 spot with 7 gross. Guys, this is amazing. Look at all these market centers that had 4 or more, 5 or more gross. Jacksonville Beach, Jacksonville Mandarin, Jacksonville Orange Park, Jacksonville Southside. A lot going on in Jacksonville. Lakeland, New Tampa, St. John's, and St. Petersburg. Good job, everybody. In the number 5 spot with 8 gross, Celebration with Donna Ross. In the number 4 spot with 9 gross, South Shore with Chelsea Bambrick. And in the number 30 spot with 14 gross, Tampa Central Dallas Cofield. Good job, everybody.
Woo! And Danny.
And Danny and Eric and
Definitely Danny.
in the number 2 spot with 15 gross, Orlando Central, Lisa Hill. Good job, Lisa. And Maritza and the team there. And in number 1 spot with 16 gross, Orlando Lake Nona with Liliana. You got Lara,
Woo-hoo!
Rena, and Debbie, and all those people contributing to that, and probably much more. So great job, everybody, on total gross. Now, let's look at our net with our executive leadership team. And in the number 7 spot with net 1, Orlando South, Orlando Waterford, and Spring Hill. In the number 6 spot with 2 net, Inglewood, Jacksonville Southside, Sarasota Siesta Key, St. Augustine, and Venice. Good job. In the number 5th spot with 3 net, Gainesville, Orlando Lake Nona, and Tallahassee. In number 4 spot with 4 net, South Shore, Rebecca and the executive leadership team. Now, in the number 3 spot, whoops, it doesn't have the Daytona Beach with net 5. And here we go. Doesn't say something. I don't know, expect something else. Jacksonville Mandarin, Jacksonville Selridge Park, and St. John's, all with net 6. Good job, everybody.
Wow.
I know. And in the number 1 spot, Orlando Central with net 7.
Woo-hoo!
She was number
Oh,
1
Maritza.
like 15 or 6. She was in the top 3, I think. Orlando Central with Maritza and the executive leadership team. Good job, everybody, and congratulations to all. So really, really good job. Let me scoot this off here and stop sharing. I just want to keep you for 1 more or maybe 2 more minutes on, and I want to show you something. We have put in here, because I didn't get a chance to do it before. I know you're not seeing the screen right now, but I will start sharing in a minute. Here we go. I want to show you where we put something and get your opinion on it if you want us to put more in here. So hold on, let me minimize this. There we need that to go away. And where are we over here? All right, I'm logging into Command. And I'm coming over here. I'm going to show you 2 things because Lara brought this up and I want to make sure you all know where these KWU courses are. And so I'm in Command, and when we go to Command, I'm going to show you over here in Command, and I'm going to come down here to Smart Plans. And in Smart Plans, where we say your Smart Plans, but in the library, if you go under NFL region or NFL, that's North Florida region, you're going to see all of these smart plans we have for everybody. Okay. But over here specifically, we have the one for the CHU, which is what I told you is that we, that we're making smart plans for you. Now, there's no steps to this. It's just that I had to download it. So it would be easy for you guys to find. So you can add this to the smart plan to my smart plans. That's where it is in the library. And then when we have it here in our smart plans, I want to show you what it looks like. Now we're not creating the smart plan. We just put it here. So it's ready to go. If you want to add steps to it, or you just want to send it out, however you want to send it out, we have put it here because it's not easy to send out the CHU if you want to send it by text or email or something. So we put it here And we're gonna do the same thing, for, the podcast. So but my question is, before I leave you all, does this help you? If we put it in the SMART plan and we do all the work for you, so all you gotta do is send it out, does that help you, team leaders? Because I don't wanna be doing all the work if you're not gonna utilize it. So, and go off mute and tell me, yes, no, it doesn't make any difference, you're not gonna use it. You tell me. It does help, thank you. Okay, Rebecca says it does help. Anybody else?
Yeah,
You
for
are-
sure. Now I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it in Command MC?
No, it's in command because you can't email.
Because of the graphics.
Right,
Got it. That
Right.
was my question, but it does help. Thank you.
Right.
Perfect.
okay, very good. So it's sitting in command. So we're gonna put the SMART plans for the MRE. You getting this, Daniela and Delia? We're gonna put the SMART plans for the podcast and for the CHU in there, so that you can do whatever you want to do with them. I'm trying to take all the work out. But guys, here's the thing. Use it, take advantage of it, because if you're not taking advantage of it, then you're not sending anything out to anybody. And I got out of where I wanted to be, so I'm not gonna, well, maybe I'm still here. Hold on for a second. I am still here. All right, am I still? Let me go back. So let me go back to share. All right. So hold on for a second. Let me go back here. All right. So everybody understands where that is. Now I'm going to go back to, hold on. I'm still, Ashley, am I still sharing? Say yes. I can't hear you. Okay. So now go back to connect. You've got to go into your library and put in NFL. I'll go back there again if I need to. But here's the thing. You come to connect. You come over here to browse all. When you come to browse all is where you have all of the classes, all of the things that you can teach. Here's listings, here's working with buyers, here's lead generation, here's market of the moment, stuff from KW Connect, wealth building, command, welcome new associates, on-demand series, leverage, KW courses, virtual classroom, KW culture, shift, growth opportunities. Guys, there's so much stuff here, okay, that you should not have any reason that you are not taking advantage of all of the courses that we have and putting them on your calendar. But what I wanted to show you, because I was talking to the OPs today about this business planning clinic, and when you come to the business planning clinic, I'm pretty sure this is where, yes, this here is like a 5-hour course. It was done in 2020. It's Ken Temple and some other top people. I think Linda McKissick and some others are on it. But if you want to learn about the economic model or about how to use the MREA book, listen to this business planning clinic. We're getting Jean to come and teach business planning clinic the end of this year, like in November, I believe, October, November. But come in here and listen to this. There's no reason that you don't know how to do like how the MREA book works. This is 2 hours and 56 minutes, and this is 3 hours. So it's like 6 hours. But listen to this, because it's an abbreviated version of 5 hours of the business planning clinic. So I just wanted to show you where that was and where all of the courses are, which is what Lara was talking about. All right, so that's that. Here's where it is. I'm not sure who that was that couldn't find it. But in command, if you go down here to SMART plans and you come over here to library, you got to come to library. Then you're going to put in NFL up here in the search bar, NFL. And then when you put up NFL, all of these SMART plans we've done for you are in here. Over here is the CHU. Okay. So then you would just add the SMART plan. It's already downloaded, so it's not going to download. But you're just going to add it. And then when you come over here to my SMART plans, it should show up. Okay. All right, what did Andrew just say? Andrew Parrott just said something. What is NFL for Chew called again? Because I'm not seeing it. I don't have them in my library. Well, it's in, I don't know, well,
Georgia, they have to scroll down below. First, it's the ones that are pinned and they have to scroll down a little bit and they'll see it. Cause I was like, wait, I'm not seeing it. And that's exactly what I had to do.
yeah, so they're probably there. If you can't find it, get with Daniela. And she will help you find them, but they should be in there, Andrew. They should be in there. If you want to stay on the call for a little bit, we've got our cruise people coming on here as well. All right, guys, if you're going on the cruise with us, stay on the call because we have about 10 or 15 there. She says, I see them now. Thanks. So you might have to scroll down. So cruise people, stay on the call because we've got about 10 or 15 minutes that we need to talk to you about some things. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you. Oh, yeah, we'll talk to you next Monday. I was thinking we were going on the cruise next week. Ashley, no, we got another couple weeks to go there. All right. Andrew, are they coming? Did you scroll down, Andrew?
Yeah, I only have 2 on there, NFL agent
But
financials.
are you going to the library or are you going to My Smart Plans?
Going to the smart plans and then going to the library.
No. Go to. Okay, so you went to Smart Plans, and you went to library.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why they wouldn't be showing up for you, but get with Danielle and we'll help you with that. Are you logged in as a team leader or are you logged in as an agent?
Team leader.
Okay, well, they should be there. Don't know. I will get with Daniela to help you with that, okay?
Sure.
I'll have her
Thank
reach
you.
out to you. You're welcome. All right, is this all the cruise people, Ashley? Okay, you got the list, Ashley? Okay. And then will you go off mute so we can hear you?
Yeah, I was just removing people that were hanging out for some reason, but I think we're good now. Oh, hold on. Got a couple more I gotta get rid of. Okay. All right, yeah, I think we're good now.
You want to put that, do you want to share that?
Say that again?
You want to share it?
Yeah.
List.
Yep, go ahead. Just talk while I pull it up. Hold on.
Okay.
I have
So,
mine.
so we just want to go through some specific things to make sure that everybody is on board, so to speak, with everything that's happening. So some of you are going to go up the night before, and that's fine. And some of you may choose to go up that morning, but remember that you should have already gone in and downloaded your app, and you should have already put in I'm doing some things by memory. You should have already downloaded the app and you should have already done your onboarding time. So that's really, really important. Make sure that you have your travel docs, your plans and parking.